guys, and welcome back to the Virtual Reality Show, where we talk about any and all things related to virtual reality inside virtual reality. I'm your host, PHIA. Today, I have a very special guest here with me, FoxyJoel. And FoxyJoel is actually another fellow VTuber who I've seen a whole bunch of times. I love joining your streams, and you're honestly one of my favorites to watch. So I'm really excited to have you here today to talk about VTubing with me. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what you do?
Hello, everybody. My name is FoxyJoel. I draw creepy cuties and/or haunting beauties, aka monster girls. I'm a mainly art streamer, but I also do a couple of games here and now. Mainly, though, I would say VTuber art streamer. Yes, hello. Hi, everyone.
So I wanted to go ahead and ask you some questions. So when did you kind of get interested in VTubing? Like, how did that start for you?
So around maybe 2 years now, maybe a year-ish ago. But I was in the art community, obviously. I wasn't doing games back then. But I had a bunch of different friends, and there were like maybe two artists who were using different VTuber things. We didn't call it VTubing, though. Everyone just used it as an avatar, as a mascot. Nobody really called it VTubing. There was someone named Mystic Swordsman, and then there was Rose Doodle. And I got into it because my friend Rose Doodle is the one who told me how to do it. She's another YouTuber and VTuber now, I believe. But at the time, again, nobody really called it VTubing. And I think I'm defined as a first-gen VTuber, like a boomer. And I found out recently about that, and I was not happy about being called a boomer. But basically I just learned it from a friend. And from then on, I just kind of was doing it without knowing it was VTubing for around a year or so until recently I started calling myself a VTuber.
So that's really interesting that you didn't necessarily like make the conscious decision to be like, oh, I want to be a VTuber. Because I think right now, in the way that like the trends are rising and stuff, people are seeing virtual YouTubers like Kizuna Ai and stuff and being like, oh, like that's something I want to do. But contrary to what people believe, there's a whole line of people who are kind of doing VTubing already without just really realizing it. So it's really interesting to hear that. Yeah, that you've been doing it for a while then. Did most of those people kind of make their own avatars, and that's what kind of got the community rolling then?
So basically what happened was one person used it, and then everyone was like, that's really cool, I want that. But everyone who had it at first did not. Like, one, we didn't know it was VTubing. Two, nobody really shared it. Like, we wanted to, because we knew if we let the information out and told people, everyone would have it. So for the most part, everyone who had it, me, Rose Doodle, and a few others I taught, as well as a few others that I didn't teach. We were all like, we had our own little commands for whenever somebody would come into Twitch chat and ask like, hey, what are you doing? How are you a virtual human being? That's creepy. That's weird. You're crazy. That's cute. All different kinds of emotions. And basically everyone would have their own different response. Like some people would have like a command that would say, hey, it's magic. That's cool. I personally had one where I called it anime girlitis, where I was born with a rare degenerative disease, where I came out of the womb looking like a 6 foot tall, sexy anime girl. And I was bullied ever since as a kid for it. And everyone had their own little backstories for it. At the time, we didn't want to like share it around. I personally thought, I was with whatever about it, but I kept it a secret for the most part. So whenever someone asked me what it was, I didn't really answer properly. I just gave them that anime girlitis thing for the most part. I know my friend Rose Doodle, she made her model first. I made my model at first. A few years later, the model you see right now was made by another friend named Tsiox. It was a fan who came into my stream, and I hate the word fan, but they came into my stream and they were like, hey, you're really cool. And then like a day later, they DM'd me on Discord and said, hey, look at this. I made you this. And it was just my model, but better.
What?
And they've been updating it ever since and helping me out with different outfits and such. So I called him my manager.
That's awesome.
Dude, literally one day later, I was like, you're insane. You were able to do this in one day.
Yeah, the fact that somebody could keep up with that in a day, that's like nuts. My next question for you then was, I wanted to ask, why do you specifically use a virtual avatar versus using your face and stuff for streams? So I know you talked a little bit, it's sexy. I mean, that's it is very sexy. You have a beautiful avatar.
Go on to question. but for the most part, I do think it's just more enjoyable, really, to be able to see myself as my own characters, my own creations that I've made myself, as well as it's honestly way more expressive than it could be if I just used a face cam or if I didn't use a face cam at all. Because honestly, face cam's kind of tiring to be able to have to show yourself to people every day, and then either if you get ready or not to show yourself, if you have makeup, if you don't, if you have bedhead, stuff like that. As a streamer, as soon as I'll go to bed really late after working on art, and then I'll wake up around 3 p.m. and then 2 hours later at 5 p.m. when I start my streams, I don't want to have to rush that time in between. That's my leisure time of showering, eating, and just scouring through Twitter for like 3 hours.
So the next thing is kind of the thing that I'm the most excited to talk to you about, and is kind of the reason that I really wanted to have you here on the show. And that's kind of about how you and I use VTubing differently. So obviously, VTubing is this really diverse thing that people can use in all sorts of ways, because you get to create your own character and you can use that in any way you want. And obviously for me, when I created my PHIA model, I based this off of like my real life self, because the way that I see it is that my virtual, self is an extension of my real one. And I see them as both like equal parts of me. And that, on the contrary, is very opposite to you. So while I feel like my voice and everything matches up really well with my model because it is a version of me, you obviously, do not necessarily look like your model.
What are you trying to say?
I'm sorry.
What are you trying to say about me?
I'm saying you're a beautiful anime girl.
I told you this. I was born like this. This is a disease.
Right.
I like being mistreated like this.
I'm sorry. You have your anime girl-itis. I will not be. It's a real serious condition. We should not, treat this lightly. But you have such this wonderfully booming voice, and it's so wonderful and majestic, and it brings people in, it gets them excited, and especially because they don't necessarily expect it coming out of the body that you have. And so I want to kind of get your opinion on that. Kind of get your opinion on those differences, and what do you think that kind of means?
Specifically the differences, everyone has their own character, whether people want to role play or not and get into that character. I know there's a lot of differences between English VTubers and Eastern VTubers, who kind of have that they're more into the character. They try to stay into it more, while English VTubers are more personal. They they're themselves as a character, and I find that more interesting personally to me. For me, this is literally just like, it started out, like I said, I made my model, but I didn't really want to make a model of myself because I thought it'd be like, whatever, not as cool. So I made a model of one of my favorite characters, which is a character named Domia, which is just marionette. And it's just this living marionette girl, which is always interesting. And it represents me basically as someone who draws monster girls, I love monster girls. I like drawing them. I like drawing subjects about them. That creepy kind of cute aspect to everything I always thought was really nice. And the difference between my voice and the character is I know a lot of people enjoy it. I think there's even niche people out there that enjoy it more rather than me having this sexy there's like a word for it, adult female voice,
It's kind of seductive, kind of, yeah.
Seductive, sultry voice.
Yes.
For some people, I have a sultry, seductive voice.
Absolutely. You have that booming, majestic, it allures people in. So I don't think you're missing it. I think it's just an unexpected kind of
100%.
Unexpected allure.
The difference in my voice, I actually enjoy a lot, because I like seeing when people come in, they expect this sexy anime girl streamer, and they find me a sexy anime girl streamer, just in a different sense for the most part. I think it's always enjoyable. I think people enjoy it a lot. I think they have fun with it. There's always a lot of banter between chat and me, back and forth, just depending on my voice. Whenever someone new comes in, they're like, well, all right, cool, wasn't expecting that, here's a follow. Yeah. It's always fun.
It is fun. I think it's super engaging. And honestly, I was, when I first found out about you, it was somebody in my Discord was talking about their favorite VTubers. The first time I joined in there and I heard your voice, I was like, whoa, this is so unexpected and so different. It gives you something that definitely stands out. But I love how different that is from me, because I think for a lot of VTubers, it's kind of a lot more in the middle, right? where they have like a character and maybe they give it like a different colored hair, or they'll have like some animal ears and they'll be like, Neko Mimi and all that.
Fair. Not everyone's an artist, not everyone's out here creating designs, and I can respect that. Obviously, there's only like how many Monster Girl VTubers are there out there that actually take the creative design and try to do their best with it? It's also, it's kind of expensive to get a model.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. The models are so expensive, and so
they're hard to make. Yeah,
they are hard to make. So I think you have to specifically like commission someone if you don't know how to make it, and you have to kind of make that choice. Like, do I want to have a character that is like an idealized like anime character, or something that I like wish that I was, or something that reminds me of my favorite like fandom that I wish I was a part of?
My wish fulfillment. I want to be a Minecraft character.
Oh my god, we need to have Minecraft VTubers. Imagine just sitting like in the middle of the stream and you have like Steve from Minecraft who's doing drawing some. Oh, there we go. We got.
Perfect.
Look at Protostar to do some Minecraft VTubing. The camera boy. But so people have to make that choice. Like, what kind of model do I want to have? Do I want it to be more like representative of me, or do I want it to be more of a character? And I think for most people, they kind of pick somewhere in the middle where they're like, okay, so I'm going to be myself, but I'm also going to have pink hair, which I don't have in real life, or I'm going to have, I'm going to be, a cat girl, which I'm not in real life. And so for you went with something that is, completely different. Like, it's just something that you really love, Monster Girls. And you're like, yes, I love Monster Girls. I'm going to make something with this. And then with me, I chose to make my model be something on the other end of the spectrum, which is completely like me and be like very, very representative of me. And so I think it's really interesting to compare, because we're like on the opposite sides of the spectrum, and most people kind of lay in the middle. Do you ever feel like having an avatar brings people, or brings you maybe like some kind of safety? Some kind of like comforting, like kind of being hidden away and not having to show your real self.
Yeah, I don't have to make myself look good every time I go onto a camera. Right. There's definitely a lot of safety with people who use avatars. Not to say that everyone does. Me personally, I'm whatever about showing my face. Like I said before, I prefer to be known as my avatar, rather than my face. But if people see my face, it's not that big of a deal to me. But I know a lot of people are very, they consider their privacy very precious to them. And I can respect that. I can understand why you would want that. And I can understand a lot of VTubers do have that precious privacy to themselves about this kind of thing. But me personally, I'm like, haha, I'm sexy. Haha, follow me. And that's my main appeal. And to go back to what you were saying about your models and everything, and how everyone wants to be a cat girl. For mine specifically, like I said, this is a previously existing OC that I've drawn myself, original character. And the whole thing about my characters is that I take something that I was afraid of when I was younger or now, and to fight fears, basically my whole process is I'll take something I'm afraid of, and then I'll draw it in a really hot sexual way that makes it I love that your character laughs too. I draw in a very I draw something that I'm scared of as a kid in a very sexy way. And in this case, it was a doll. I was afraid of dolls as a kid, so I decided I'm going to make a very hot doll. So instead of being scared of it, I'm attracted to it. So I'm fighting my fears in a metaphorical and literal sense.
That's a big brain move. Wow.
And I do it with a lot of characters, whether it be spider girls, doll girls. You can even take metaphorical fear, like non-physical fears as well, like a fear of heights. You can make any theme into a character. And I believe that's one of the best ways to like get rid of fears, is to make it hot. So like now I'm not afraid of ghosts anymore, because I've seen so much hot art of ghosts. I'm now excited when I'm like, yes, please, yes, I love you. You are gorgeous. Ghost ladies.
That's amazing. I had no idea that was part of the deal of drawing monster characters. Would be almost to like take
probably
something.
Just me. Yeah.
No, but that's such a cool thing. Such a cool, unique thing about you. Then, like that is something so amazing and beautiful. It really resonates with me too, because one of the previous episodes that I made on my channel was about social anxiety, and I talked a lot about. Yes, we'll add the social anxiety episode. Yes, embedded link. But I talk about social anxiety and how we can use VR to really like challenge that and actually use it as exposure therapy to kind of combat that. And so I think that really connects super well with you using, your digital persona as something to conquer like some fears that you've had. Is you literally embody them and give them life, and then bring it to life virtually. And then that's a way that you can use to make it feel less scary.
And then people make hentai of it, which helps even more.
Yeah, exactly. You can't be really scared of
I can't speak for everyone.
When they say, like, imagine everybody in the crowd naked and then you won't be scared anymore. It's like that.
A little bit further, yeah.
But yeah, just very hyper-focusing in on the beautiful monster girls. That kind of wraps me up into what I would consider the most important question of our discussion here is, if you could, would you choose to be your avatar in real life? Would you switch your real body for this one?
Oh, dude, that's like every kid's isekai fantasy. Every single little anime Tommy 12-year-old is sitting at home reading about Sword Art Online, just like, oh God, I wish I could be my game character. 100% I would. I feel like anyone would. Most people would take the chance unless they're incredibly self-confident. Like if they have the biggest dick energy in the entirety of the universe, they'd say no to that. For the most part, of course I would. I think it'd be really cool. Like you can't see under my clothes or anything, thankfully. But this character itself is very detailed. There's obviously doll joints everywhere. So there's no genitalia, which would kind of suck. But for the most part, everything is there, and it's really cool. But to be my character in real life, I would start an OnlyFans, dude. That'd be amazing. I could use my the monetary value of being an anime girl in real life would be amazing. Oh, 100%. I assume you mean like a literal anime girl and not like a real life version of my character.
Oh no, definitely like real life. Like you inhabit your body, absolutely.
I probably could, since this is a character that's porcelain. I could just model it myself. Transfer my soul. It'll be like Full Metal Alchemist.
Transfer your soul. There you go. That's the simple explanation to this question, right?
100%. It's the scientific explanation that we can give to this. That's what we would want for that.
Scientifical, yes.
Scientifical.
All right, well, perfect. That pretty much wraps up all of my questions I had for you today. So was there any last things you wanted to add before we sign off?
Yeah, actually a couple. If there's anyone out there looking to become a streamer or a VTuber, you can obviously check out FIA's videos. There's a lot of useful and helpful information there for that. As well, if you're trying to become I like that. I like the nod to the camera. If you're also trying to become a streamer in general, don't be disillusioned by numbers or anything like that. I know I've been a streamer for 4 years and I did YouTube for maybe 8 years total. But if you start off and all you care about is the numbers, it's really going to show, and your chat will 100% notice, trust me. Also, if you're a streamer who doesn't have any viewers, if you're saying you're streaming and you have 0 people watching, just ask a friend, dude. Because the only way to get viewers on Twitch specifically is you need to have a viewer to get a viewer, because nobody looks at this is harsh. Nobody really looks at the people with 0 view counts. So if you can just ask a friend or a family member, just ask them to, hey, can you hang out in my chat? You want to hang out while I stream this game? We can have fun together. And just have that one person. More people will come in, even if you have at least like 1 or 2 people just hanging out with you. So that's the best advice I can give. Also, if you guys are looking for amazing models like mine, my original model obviously wasn't this good because it was my art skills. And even as a 3D modeler, it was kind of hard to get textures down right. But if you guys are looking for an amazing model like this, my manager, Tsiox, recently opened up commissions. If we can get a link, I don't know if that'd be allowed. Tsiox on Twitter, basically TSIOX. You can message her. She's taking commission examples just to make models like this right now. So if you'd like that. Other than that, feel free to check me out, FoxyJoel, everywhere until I rebrand finally and get Foxy out of my name because it doesn't make any sense.
I guess I never really thought about that, but you are not a fox.
When I was like 10 and I had a YouTube channel, every big YouTuber had some kind of like animal adjective in the first part of their name. Like
I have a bunny.
Bear,
Mine's
kitty.
Bunny.
Yeah.
So I'm on that trend too. Oh my god.
Yeah. Everyone had it. I was like, what's a good one? Oh, Foxy. I mean, it works because I say sexy all the time, but like
it does port over pretty well.
I hate when I go into a chat and someone's like, hey, Foxy, how's your night going? It's like, you see Joel in the name. How do you say the first part when you see an actual name in the name?
No, mine's the same thing. Is where people they see FIA and they go, is it FIA? Is it?
I'm gonna say the other one.
And they go,
hi, Bunny.
Yes, they go, hi, Bunny, and I'm like,
it's a cop out. You're a coward. You're a f***ing coward if you call people by the adjective. It's like if I see something like, oh god, it's disappointing to me. But yes, if you guys like Monster Girls, feel free to come check out, come hang out. I do game streams, like I said, and as well as I do art streams for the most part. I just did Hollow Knight, and I was uploading it to YouTube and YouTube is not uploading it, which is awesome.
Yeah, YouTube's got issues. If you guys want to check out any of FoxyJoel's stuff, then we will link everything in the description. You can go check all of that out. So once again, thank you, FoxyJoel, so much. Rest in peace.
I'm going back home. Falling through the floor.
It's been seriously so great having you on and getting to have this discussion. Talking to another VTuber, so I've really appreciated it.
Of course.
For everyone watching, if you want to have more discussions like this, whether it's about VTubing or anything else virtual reality, then make sure you join my Discord, link in the description. We're always talking about stuff like that. Otherwise, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to the Virtual Reality Show channel for more videos. I do a new episode every single week. So
comment
hopefully...
too.
Oh yeah, and leave a comment. Leave a comment. Who's your favorite VTuber?
Talk about your discussion, yeah.
Yeah, let's do some discussion. We'll
it helps with the algorithm.
That's true. So, like, shameless thing right there is comments and likes. They really do help out. So
that's one of the reasons I became going on a tangent again. One of the reasons I became a streamer is because YouTube. I never got any comments when I was doing it. Like I would get views, but there's nobody talking. That's so not fun.
Yeah, comments are the best part. I would much rather have loads of comments than I would loads of views because that shows that people are engaged. Yeah, there's a difference. There's a difference. But yeah, with that, then thank you, everybody. I have been your host, FIA, and this has been my guest, FoxyJoel, and I will see you guys on next week's episode. Bye!
Bye.